welcome back to my channel, and welcome to day 3 of Vlogmas. So for this video, we are doing my reading wrap-up of the year so far because my goal is to hit 30 books this year, and right now I only have 18. So I have a bunch of more to go, and I plan to try to get to that goal. But I'm gonna start from every book that I have read from the months of January to now. Before I start, I kind of want to preface as to what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you guys about the ratings of each book that I gave. I'm just going to talk about it in general. There may be some spoilers, so if you haven't read any of the books that I talk about or bring up, just skip ahead to the ones that you have, or if you don't care, just keep watching. And I'm going to give my thoughts into all the books that I will be showing you today, so let's get started. So for the month of January, I read 2 books, which I have been very inconsistent this year. I just get into random reading slumps, like I'm kind of in one right now. But yeah, so just a little preface to that. So for the month of January, I read Queen of Shadows and Onyx Storm. So I'm going to start with Queen of Shadows and give you my ratings to this one. So Queen of Shadows, I obviously gave a 5 out of 5. This book, I feel like, is what jump-started my honestly love for Throne of Glass. It took me a really long time to finish it because I just think I was in the biggest slump ever, and it took me a little over a month to finish it. But once I started reading it, and honestly I listened to some of it too, it quickly started becoming one of my favorites of the series. It's definitely not one of my top favorites. I obviously have others that I will be talking about, but this is definitely one of my favorite reads of the year. So my favorite part of the book is obviously when Aelin is in Rifthold and she's with Adian and all of the other people with fuck-ass Chaol. Fuck-ass Chaol in this book, because Chaol is so annoying in this book. Oh my gosh, he is so annoying. But anyways, I digress. When they're all together and they're all like in an alleyway, I don't really remember where they are, but they're on the streets of Rifthold, and all of a sudden you see Aelin running towards a shadow, and you know it's Rowan. And oh my gosh, once they become reunited, it is so peak. I love Aelin and Rowan's story so much. It's honestly one of my favorite things about this series because she goes through such an up and down journey throughout the whole series, and it just, their love is honestly chef's kiss. I love this book and this series. Now let's move on to this fuck-ass book. This book ruined me. I think about it constantly. I didn't do a reread before this book, so if you have not done your reread before reading this, or if you're going back to back to back, that is honestly so helpful. That is going to help you so much, because I didn't do a reread, and I was confused for most of this book, even though I had read it a couple months prior to finally getting to it, and it was kind of a shit show. I rated this a 4 out of 5. I wish I could have rated it a 5. Of course, the ending is a 5-star ending, but the ending just fucked me up so bad. I always explain it as it goes into 3 parts, and going through the different islands, this book just wasn't my favorite of the whole series. Fourth Wing, the first book, is definitely my all-time favorite of the series. I just feel like, I don't know. My favorite thing about this book in general is honestly Xaden's love for Violet. He definitely became one of my favorite book boyfriends of all of the books that I had read so far up until this point. And his love for Violet is just so loud in this book, and I love it so much because it's kind of like a love letter to her. And then you get to the fucking ending and it just tears. Oh my god, this book tore me open. I actually have the reading vlog up for this book, so if you want to go check that out. It is a long one because reading vlogs just take forever to me. The way he loves her, it just kills me every time. And I literally will start crying because I just love them so much. I'm deadass getting emotional because I just love the character so much. But I did have to give this a 4 out of 5 just because it lost me at some points and I was very confused. So that's what I'm giving it. So I did not read a book in February, but let's move on to March. So for the month of March, I read mostly all of the books in the off-campus series. This has honestly been my second favorite series of this year. I love this series and this character so much. I gave each book 5 stars, starting with The Deal. Hannah and Garrett's love story, I just love it so much. I was in college at the time, like I'm post-grad now, but at the time I was reading this, I was in college, and it just gives such college vibes, and I love this series so much. Hannah's character, I just love her so much because she's so real. Like, she's just such a real character where you're like, yeah, that's literally my best friend. And then the boys, all of the boys, like, relationships and the relationship within themselves, and of course how Garrett treats Hannah just melted my heart every time I read this book. This is honestly one of my favorites, one of them, because I have many of the year. One of my favorites of the whole year. And I love this series and this book so much. And I am so excited for the actual TV series. I'm a little disappointed in the casting of Garrett because he just looks really old, but whatever. They casted Hannah perfectly in the television series, and I'm so excited to see how the actress is gonna portray Hannah, and I'm very excited. So I don't have the mistake or the score physically. I read them on my Kindle, but I'm going to talk about those as well. John Logan's and Grace's love story is so sweet. I think of them as like the sweet couple because yes, they had some problems, but it honestly wasn't anything crazy. It's honestly my third favorite in the series that I've read so far because they were there, but they didn't really stand out to me. I still gave it a 5 stars because I sped through that whole book, so I'm going to give it a 5 stars. I give 5 stars very what's it called? Generously. Jesus Christ, I lost my word. I give 5 stars very generously, so if you don't agree with me, that's fine. But moving on to the score. Oh my gosh. Allie's and Dean's story. Oh my gosh. That is my favorite of the whole off-campus series. I love them so much. Dean is he's just such a charmer. And I love the way the author writes him because he's a fuckboy, yeah, he's this, yeah, he's that, but at the end of the day, his character is one of my favorites in the series because he has a soft spot for Allie, and I just love that so much, and he's not a dick, even though he has money, and he knows he's very privileged. When Beau died, I don't even want to think about that. When Beau died, that was so sad, and he was kind of shitty in that moment, but I love the way him and Allie ended up coming back together, and I just love their story so much, and I also give that a 5 out of 5. Moving on to the Pancake Strawberry House, or the Strawberry Patch Pancake House, I don't really have much to say about this book. I did like it. I kind of just didn't love it. I think I gave it a 2.5, guys, which is so sad because I really wanted to like it. I just felt like it kept dragging on, and I feel like we could have left some parts out. Again, like I was talking about yesterday, these little books are very for the season, and they're just to pick up, and if you want to speed through them, that's fine. I just could not, and so I gave it a 2.5. Now moving on to these fuck-ass books. I love these books and also hate them at the same time. I did the tandem read, and honestly, I will never not recommend the tandem read. I think it is the way to go because it's like a movie in your head, bro. It is literally a movie in your head, and I love these books so much, and fuck everybody who says they skipped this book because skipping it is just not an option. You get to know the characters so much better. I'd hated Kale. I hated him in Queen of Shadows, but in this book, it just made me love him and fall in love with his character a little bit more because he was just struggling, and of course, no one's ever going to top Dorian, guys. No one is ever going to top Dorian. But this book was just I loved it so much because Kale and Irene's love story is so sweet. And she literally hated his guts in the beginning. And I love a good enemies to lovers. So that's why it kind of reeled me in. But yeah, I just love them so much. And so I myself didn't care about Sartak or any of the Coggins family. I just didn't really care. But once Nesrin and Sartak started becoming like a thing, and this line in particular, this whole little scene that I'm about to read to you is what made this book 5 stars for me. I didn't think I cared. And then this happened and I was sobbing. I could not stop sobbing once I was reading this. I literally posted a TikTok about it, but it literally, when he says, Sartak smiled at her gently, sweetly, in a way she had not yet seen. I loved you before I ever set eyes on you, he said. Please, Nesrin wept. Sartak's hand tightened around on hers. I wish we'd had time. Dude, I was sobbing so uncontrollably when I read that. Again, I didn't think I cared, but that specific scene made this book 5 stars for me. I love this book. I love the world building in this book because we're literally, what, 3 books, 2 books, nope, a book away from the ending, and you're introducing so many new characters that are going to be so important to the finale. Like, that amazing writing. I love Sarah J. Maas. I love Sarah J. Maas. Now moving on to Empire Storms. This book broke my heart, stepped on it, broke it again, and then put it back together, and then stepped on it again. This book killed me. Just a moment of silence for this book. This book literally killed me. It killed me so much. So the reason I love this book is because of, obviously, Dorian. I love Dorian so much, and his arc in this story is just so important to me and to the character, because we're seeing him while he's not enslaved. He's battling through, his dad just died. He killed him, and his city is in shambles. It's like so much stuff is happening to him, and then him and Manon just make me, like, I love them. They're so spicy. I just love them so much. And we get to see how Alid and Lorcan fall in love as well. I just love this book because everything is starting to come together, and it's so important to the story. And then it fucks you up in the last 100 pages like SJM does, and it kills you. And Aelin is captured. Everything comes together, and it's just like, you're just like, well, what is going on? You're getting tugged everywhere because it's insane. I sobbed so much in this book, and it's just like, ugh. Obviously I gave it 5 stars, guys, obviously. So now moving on to the Twisted series. I don't really have much to say about these. I gave Twisted Hate a 3.5, and I gave Twisted Lies, I think, a 4. They're not my favorites of the year. I prefer Twisted Games and Twisted Love to these two. I thought this one was very sweet. The ending was amazing because we got to see everybody's ending together. This one was fucking crazy because Josh is insane and Jules is insane. It's just like, I don't really have much to say about these. Just read them at your own volition. I do want to read more of Anna Huang, but again, just not my favorite. And then in October, I read a lot of dark romance, but I'm just not going to get into those books because I read them on my Kindle. I read a shit ton of them, but I don't really want to get into it because gotta keep it PG. Now let's move on to this beautiful book, my favorite romance read of the year. This book is so special to me. I love this book so much. Obviously, I gave it a 5 out of 5. It's just so special. I loved the writing. I laughed, I cried, I was in shock. I kept her going back to the front page, like, what the hell? Yes, that's her. Like, it's just such an amazing love story, and it's so different. I didn't realize that, like, magic realism was a thing in books yet, like, because this is only my 2nd year reading, so, like, a lot of books. So I was so excited to finally get into it because one of my best friends recommended it. Chelsea, I love you. My favorite part is honestly one of my favorite parts is the beginning when she bumps into Iwan without knowing, because that whole journey is about to start, and her and her friends had ordered a lemon dessert. And so when she bumps into him, he calls her Lemon, and she's like, yes, it's what we ordered, but it's her. He's talking to her. Dude, I could go on and on about this book. I love this book so much. I will never stop talking about it, and I wish I could read it again for the first time. It's just so special to me. I love it. And my favorite parts are when it's like funny, because she goes back to the apartment and she talks to old Iwan, and then she comes back to her real time and she's talking to Iwan 7 years later, and he's like, oh yeah, that just happened. Like, I love it. It's I love this author, and I am so excited to read more of her stories. Now let's move on to the final book in the Throne of Glass series. Kingdom of Ash will always have a special place in my heart, and I feel like people, unless you read, you don't really understand when people say that like books really change a person, and this book changed me for the better, because Aelin and Selena, like obviously they're one person, but Aelin's acts of kindness throughout the whole series of Throne of Glass, I'm getting emotional about it. Every act of kindness that she has made in the past comes back, and all of those people literally help her out to win the war and get her back home. And it's just, this book is so special to me. I'm getting so emotional, but this series is so special to me because it gives you a really good lesson of just being kind to others, and it will always come back to you. And she struggles so much in all of these books, and this book in particular, it just makes me so emotional because she's like, take it off. Like, when she has the mask off, nobody can take it off, and she's so frustrated, and you as the reader are so frustrated with her, and you're like, take the fucking mask off, and she can't. And her and Fenris's story as well, like Fenris made me sob. This whole book is just so emotional for me, and I can't even stop. I can't like stop crying about it. And I was literally with my nephews the other day, and I was just like, I'm gonna tell them a story. And I was like, once upon a time there lived a young princess who loved her kingdom very much. And if you haven't read the series, please do, because it's just so special and so important. Now let's move on to the last book of the year, second to last, because the last book I read was The Secret History, and I will talk about that. But Picking Daisies on Sundays is so cute, and I love it so much. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Again, I'm very generous with my 5s. I sped through this book so fast. I'm hot low-key. I sped through this book so fast. Danny and Levi, chef's kiss. The yearning in this book is amazing. I have not seen a female character yearn for a man before. In a lot of the books, it's majority the man is yearning for the woman. And finally seeing it in this perspective, it was just such a breath of fresh air. But just the way Danny and Levi's relationship is just so cute, and I obviously gave it a 5 out of 5. Definitely read this one. I definitely recommend. It's just, I love it, and it made me want to visit New York so bad. And then my last book, I don't have a physical copy. I listened to it on audio, but it is The Secret History. I'm giving that one, honestly, a 4.5 out of 5 stars because it took me a long time to finish it, and it was my first kind of mystery contemporary fiction book. So I was really nervous going into it, but I was honestly shocked the whole time. I was like, why is this person dead? Like, what the crap? Like, Bunny, the way he died was just crazy. And then the funeral, and then just like so much stuff is going on. It was like kind of culty, and it was gothic, and I was just like, whoa, what is going on? So I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I definitely recommend that one. I read it at the perfect time. Again, I'm very much of a mood reader, and that book was definitely set my mood for the month of November, and that shit was just, it was crazy. I was constantly telling my parents about it, and I was just like, whoa, what's going on? Like, what? And it was written in the 90s, and that book, crazy. Definitely recommend that one to you guys. Alright guys, that is my reading wrap up for this video and this year so far, because I still have 20 something days to go, and I definitely want to get to my reading goal. Let me know what other videos you guys wanted to see during Vlogmas. I know this one was a little different. I'm yapping a lot the whole time, and if you don't like that, I'm so sorry. This video isn't for you. I just love yapping. I'm also very repetitive. I repeat a lot of what I say, so I'm sorry. I get really nervous, so I repeat a lot. And I just love books, so I love rambling. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see y'all tomorrow for day 4. Bye.